Professor, you mentioned earlier that activism has moved Biden to the left over the course of the general election campaign. That's curious to me because what I've seen is Biden resisting moving to the left. One famous note, out of the DNC Unity Commission, the Sanders-Biden Unity Commission, one of the recommendations was postal banking, letting the post office operate as essentially a credit union. And it was reported that Biden made a phone call to the banks and told them, don't worry about that. That's just something for the Warren people. We're not actually going to do that. So my question to you is, how has Biden been moved to the left?
Well, very clearly.
I like that. He's like, yeah, this is bullshit. We're just telling the Warren people that so they'll vote for us. We're not really going to give it to them.
I like the idea of like, this is basically what I'm envisioning. You have the meteor is coming towards the planet, and they're like, okay, we need to all work together to destroy the meteor. And then you have Virgil, Texas, and Gray. They're like, okay, that's fine, but we have to make sure that there's an equal representation of ethnic, racial backgrounds on the spaceship to destroy the meteor. Because otherwise, you know, it's not fair. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
We have a little bit more pressing concerns at the time.
You're saying is he didn't move as far as you wanted. True, he didn't move as far as I wanted. But take a look at the programs. So you look at the campaign, take, say, climate change, the most important thing. His program is way to the left of any previous one, certainly to the left of what the DNC wants, calling for nowhere near far enough, but much farther to the left. I can quote it for you if you want, or you can look it up. Same on other issues. Not as far as I would like, but it has been moved. Same is true of everyone in the past. Lyndon Johnson didn't go as far as I would have liked on civil rights, but he went farther than anything in the past.
Can you imagine these two people back during civil rights time period saying, we shouldn't vote for Lyndon Johnson because sure, he like made it so black people can vote and have equal rights and all this stuff, but it's not enough, Adam. Okay, and if we just hold, hold out a little longer, maybe somehow we'll get the changes, the more extreme changes that we want.
Yeah, who wants the right to vote when we need communism? Like, what we really need is communism.
Nixon didn't go as far as I wanted on protecting workers' rights, but he went to the left under pressure. That's how politics works. Yes, it won't be as far as we like, therefore we keep working. Not, it didn't go as far as I like, therefore I'll support the worst guy. Remember, those are the choices. You have a choice of supporting Trump or voting against him. You don't have any other choice on November 3rd. Now, if you take a look at Biden's program, it actually moved enough to the left so that the DNC has been trying to cut it back. Good. Now let's push him farther to the left. That's what activists have been doing, and that's what they should continue doing. But we have a simple choice on November 3rd. Shall I take 5 minutes to vote against a major monster who will put us in hideous conditions, or shall I not take those 5 minutes? And
so I've been looking up this claim that he made.
You're not paying attention?
No. So guess where this claim came from?
That Trump is a monster and that it only takes 5 minutes to vote? He's really selling this. He's like, in one hand, you have 15 seconds of your time. And in the other hand, you have an existential threat. You have a kaiju on the beach nuking people.
You have Godzilla is approaching, and you got to vote to build the giant Neon Genesis mech suit to fight against it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I was looking up the claim that Virgil, Texas made about that Joe Biden said that he would be on board with having the banks operate as, the post office operating as some sort of banks. which I don't know enough about to even dare form
Isn't
an
it
opinion on
so amazing
whatsoever,
that our intuitions are tuned to, like, I don't know, maybe it's a good idea. You know, if
like
you go to
no
the
clue,
post
like,
office,
yeah.
But if you're on the left, it's like, what? Bank? Triggered? Bank?
Yeah, it's like, I'm just like, okay, I don't know. I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. I have no clue about that. But anyway, so then he says, but apparently, you know, Joe Biden is telling Wall Street that that's all a lie. Okay. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm curious what the source is. So the source is that a single anonymous investment banker claimed that he heard that this was the case.
Oh my God, it could have been a troll.
Which, first of all, I'm thinking, okay, first of all, we all know how bad quote unquote anonymous sources are nowadays. Like, anonymous sources say anything. But secondly, why would an anonymous investment banker reveal something that would hurt the side that's supposed to be supporting him?
Yeah,
right?
totally.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I just think it's funny that when in this debate, they're having this debate about like whether the existential human extinction factor is enough to vote for one candidate or not, which they claim to agree in. His evidence against that is, well, one anonymous source said this thing. So
talk about cherry picking. Oh my God, you're
so silly. That's what's so interesting, is because I mean, I'm hoping that Noam Chomsky's wrong. I'm hoping that we're not on the precipice. I don't think we are. I'm really hoping we're not on the precipice of this human level existential threat. But these people agree with that, and yet they still are not providing a single logical, rational counter argument to this whatsoever.
Am I winning you over on that they don't actually believe it?
No, I think they do actually believe it. I think they do actually believe it.
But their behavior
is irrational. Just because people are acting irrational doesn't mean they don't believe something.
Well, I'm saying they're acting irrationally.
I know, but that's why I'm saying we're not disagreeing. I think we're doing Sitch's law. We're using different terms here. You're saying that if someone's acting irrational, that means they don't believe it. And I'm saying I don't agree with that definition.
I'm saying that they believe it rationally, but irrationally.
They don't feel it emotionally.
But irrationally, they don't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. They believe it rationally, but they don't feel it emotionally.
Yeah.
And they are
and
controlled.
Since they don't feel it emotionally, they actually don't believe it.
Exactly. Or not that they don't believe it, they don't act as if they believe it.
Yeah, because they don't believe it.
Well, no, because you keep saying they don't. Okay. They believe it rationally, but they don't feel it emotionally, and they're not acting rationally.
Yeah.
So don't say they don't believe it, because they do believe it. That's not good phrasing, Adam.
They don't believe it.
Oh my God.
They know it's bullshit.
Oh my God. This is Sitch's law. Stop it. Stop it. Why are you doing this?
To help him win. That's the choice. Then you go back to real politics.
Would you make the same argument if the nominee were Michael Bloomberg?
Of course. He's nowhere near as hideous as Trump. I mean, take climate again, which is one of the major problems. A lot of things wrong with Bloomberg.
What if the candidate was Freddie from A Nightmare on Elm Street?
I don't think Freddie would be putting liberal judges on the cards.
But his position on climate is infinitely better than Trump's. Trump, the parts of the left can't seem to understand. They're joining with the far right in denying the crisis of climate. There's plenty of other things, but let's just keep to that. Trump is alone in the world in pressing the accelerator towards disaster soon. That's a crucial issue. Do we want to support that, or do we want to kick him out? That's only one issue. No matter how bad Bloomberg may be on other things, it doesn't weigh in the balance against this. On the other things in which he's bad, Trump is also worse, but that doesn't matter.
Can you understand how, if you are a member of the groups that are attacked by Donald Trump and Michael Bloomberg, if you are, let's say, a Black person who has been the victim of Bloomberg's stop and frisk policies, and bear direct witness to his lack of respect for basic civil rights, Fourth Amendment rights, some of the most foundational rights we have as Americans, that being told that Donald Trump is incrementally worse than him speaks to a bigger systemic issue.
Not mentally, vastly worse.
Well, if we're talking about something like stop and frisk, it's a real potato situation with.
Oh my God.
Okay. This is so funny. I love this. This is so funny. So he's like, oh my God. So listen to what she just said. She said, can you imagine emotionally? Okay. So she, again, it's all about the emotion. She doesn't give a fuck about logic or reason or rational thought. She's, can you, the person's just, how is the person going to feel emotionally if they're black and they have to vote for a candidate who supported stop and frisk? Oh, the emotions of feeling that. And she's comparing that to like the meteor that's going to destroy all life on the planet.
Well, she's saying it's like voting for your rapist. She's like,
well, here's the thing.
You can't vote for your rapist.
If Godzilla is coming towards the city, okay, and the only person that can pilot the mech
is your rapist.
Well, I have some bad news for you.
You're going to be voting for your rapist.
You're going to have to vote for your rapist, okay? And that's what's so funny about this. Is why I'm saying this podcast shows that leftists and woke SJWs are literally a suicide cult.
Yeah.
That they are the same as the fundamentalist suicide bombing Islamic person who says, I don't give a fuck about what's rational, okay, or logical. I'm going to do whatever whatever makes me feel good. That's what's important. Who gives a fuck about what actually makes me good? Who gives a fuck about what's rational, logical? I want my feelings, Adam, to be accommodating.
That's true. I mean, we're both in agreement that feelings are what's driving the ship. feelings are what where it's at. Yeah.
I feel like I should rename the stream as Noam Chomsky exposes far left as suicide cult.
I didn't. Suicide in the title's not going to be helpful
Yeah,
for us.
That's going to fly very well in the algorithm.
I didn't even look to see what. Noam Chomsky exposes far leftists as. That's good. Yeah, good job. Good job.
No, I didn't put suicide cult in the title, even though I really wanted to.
That's good.
Really wanted to.
That's baller. Yeah. I like the title. I do like the title, but the stream would come down.